Today we're going to be talking about my 5 favorite Leatherman tools. Leatherman multi-tools have been widely distributed for quite a while, since the late 1980s, that they're used for a variety of tasks ranging from household repairs to addressing issues on the road. With many options available in the Leatherman catalog, selecting the appropriate model can be challenging, especially those unfamiliar with the range. There are tools tailored to a variety of situations and price points, which can make the selection process a little complex for people. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about in this video my 5 favorite ones, how I use them, and how they got to be my 5 favorite ones. I'm going to be talking about some that are still available and some that are harder to get. So let's get things started. Welcome, this is Haku EDC. Well, let's start off with what I call the real innovator. This is the 5th one that I have. It used to be really far up there. I would actually carry this pretty much every day. What is this? This is the Leatherman Free P4. It was a revolutionary step forward. It introduced the magnetic architecture. There are little magnets in here. This architecture is what pretty much Leatherman has been using moving forward on their best and most expensive products. You can get a one-handed operation on them. That's really the magic of the Free P4. Here are 420 HC knife blades, which can be gotten to one-handed, including, this is a one-handed saw, this is a one-handed knife blade. I'll never forget the first time that I really appreciated the free technology. I was up on a ladder, cleaning out some stuff on my roof, and I needed to string some outdoor lights. I was holding the fixture against a tree with one hand and realized the wire that I was using to turn it was the wrong size or the wrong type of wire that I wanted to get. Before the Free P4, I would have had to awkwardly climb down, switch tools, or had a much more difficult time opening it and closing it. With the P4, I held my position, used, clipped and twisted the wire, and then fixed the issue. That was it. What makes it special? It makes just the work go smoother and easier, and it really helps produce a little faster workflow for people. The Free P4 is a fantastic choice. It has passed the number 5 spot because Leatherman has since released other tools that build upon the foundation, which have overtaken this. The magnetic system can take a little getting used to if you're a long-time Leatherman user of things like the Surge, the Wave, the Sidekick, etc. For the person who values speed, accessibility, and a truly innovative design, brought 100 operations to the masses, the Free P4 is a brilliant piece of engineering. The Free P is a brilliant piece of engineering, and if you can find it, you'll find it for $100 less than the Leatherman Arc. If you add a couple things to it, you can get pretty much everything that you get on the Arc except for the Magna Cut blade. Leatherman style PS. So now, number 4 on the list is one that's going to be a little harder to get. There are third-party sellers on eBay and occasionally other places that you can find it. This is a Leatherman style PS. This is one thing that I would throw into my travel bag whenever I was traveling somewhere. I still do that kind of out of habit. I tend to use other items. That's why this one is number 4. It is a great little device. It has your pliers here, and it is pretty practical because it is generally TSA compliant. You have your scissors, and you have a little can opener and turner here, twist turn here. I added this little piece here, and this piece here is primarily used for putting in screws here. A Leatherman screwdriver here have a slotted and Phillips. I can use it to turn little small things, which makes it significantly better. Forgot to mention it has your file, and it has a little toothpick here. Came out of the mid 2000s to the middle 2015s was a device that was used, and that Leather made a number of these little small devices. This was by far the Leatherman PS. What people complain that Leatherman's quality is going down, but that's not true as far as I'm concerned. If you ever own the first generation Wave or even this device here, the things would break on them quite often. In fact, one of the reasons why Leatherman stopped making the small tools is because it costs almost as much to make the large tools, but these would break quite often. Even on like this PS that are for sale, people are selling them with broken scissors. My scissors broke, I think, have been broken twice, or maybe just once. I sent it back to Leatherman the last time. It was 2021, I think, early 2021 or late 2020, to get the scissors fixed again. And while they did repair the scissors or replace them actually, everything else on it is still the same from when I purchased it. This is a Leatherman style PS. The reason why it's number 4 and not higher is just because it's actually a little bit fragile. I don't have other things that I can carry when I'm out traveling. Leatherman Arc. Well, this is the number 3 position. I think people will surprised by this, and number 1 will wonder why it's not the number 1 position. The Leatherman Arc is a great tool. It is a fantastic tool. It feels like the future of Leatherman is resting on this particular tool and on this particular architecture. If you're a knife nerd, which I am not, people are going to swoon over the Magna Cut blade. If you're wanting to be a one-handed person, people are going to be great about the magnetic system. It does have things like that you can add your bits to. So you can add your bits, and there are ways to add other things beyond bits here. That's what most people will add there. It does come with a nice file. It is a great file. Actually, it's probably the best file on all the Leathermans that I know about, at least from my perspective. And it has a decent a decent saw. The scissors are okay. They aren't the best scissors, but they're towards the top of the line in like the Leatherman series of scissors. The thing about the scissors here on mine, I don't use them that often, so they're still a little sticky. The rest of it is just very smooth, very nice. I like the size of the plier heads. They're a really good size. I do know that people have complained about the ability to use the cutters properly, and I agree with them. I still like this device. The reason why I don't use it more often is primarily because I just don't need this much of everything here. I usually need a good pair of pliers, a good pair of scissors, and a decent knife. When I need a full scale thing, or when I'm going to work at someone's house and I need a secondhand tool, I'm going to get this and I'm going to use this tool and I'm going to bring it with me. But otherwise, I leave it at home and I bring either my number 2 tool or my number 1 tool. That's why it's number 3. The other reason why it's number 3, while it does have a great warranty, it's just pretty darn expensive, and it's gotten more expensive every day. At $250 plus dollars just for this now. It's an amazing piece. The question is, how much is the next iteration of this going to cost? This is the Leatherman Arc, number 3 on the list. Are you surprised that this is number 3 on the list, or you think it should be up higher or lower? We're down to the final 2, so we're getting into some of the heavy hitters. These are the ones that I use the most often, that I take with me for very specific things, reasons, I just love to have around. And this is the Leatherman scale tool. I'm starting with it open because I use it mainly when I'm going camping. I typically use it with either a Victorinox Huntsman or a Farmer X because I like to use things that I'm actually going to use quite often when I go camping. What I found with the signals that I generally have a whistle with me. I've started fires with flints, but I've never started a fire with flint in an emergency type of situation. I almost always have matches with me or lighter when I'm camping, so I don't know why I would want to carry a flint. So that's why I carry this. I do know that I need to screw things on occasion or tighten stuff down. This makes it happen. If I need to hammer something a little bit, I brought this attachment here so I can do some hammering. It does have a nice, oh, I need to oil this up a little bit or loosen this up. It's very stiff now. One-handed. This one has I said the skeletal. What I would tell people is if you can afford the few dollars more, get the CX model so that you have something that is smooth here versus this particular model with the both smooth and serrated edge. I have not found that I've used that serrated edge much, like cut rope. People do use it for that particular reason. All these are locking, which makes it nice. The weight of it is very nice. You can carry it. I do know that people who carry this has their everyday carry. I think it's just a little sparse for everyday carry. Otherwise, I really enjoy this with the bit, and then you can put an extra bit here. Here, as I said, I use this, I carry this with me every time I go camping. This is the Leatherman Skeletal. Now, here we are at number one. As you see, it's probably the GOAT tool, probably the best Leatherman that has ever made. It went from what I think the worst one to the best in a few years. This is the Leatherman Wave Plus. I love this. This is the one that got me really hooked on reevaluating what I thought about Leatherman. If anyone picked up the original Wave, there was a Wave and then there was a second generation Wave and now the Wave Plus. First generation Wave was just plagued with so many issues. For one thing, it didn't have your wire cutters like this that are replaceable or somewhat replaceable. Heads would break all the time. Even though the scissors on this are not the greatest scissors that you can find, the scissors on those were really bad. Each iteration, this is the third iteration, got better and better until this Wave Plus came out. And this was really a fantastic piece. It really got Leatherman serious with people in both the trades and people who just wanted a basic multi-tool in their pocket. This thing has a saw on it. You have your knife. I think it's a 420 HC knife, which when it came out was just really fantastic. This files are very nice on it. Serrated blade. People would use this to cut a lot of different things. Even though they had a saw, I know a lot of people who use this serrated blade ahead of it. When it went to the replaceable little clippers here, wire cutters, then it became just a fanboy rave. It was, back in the day, the closest thing to a mean tool for a multi-tool, just that there is. It does grip very well. Has people noticed now, it's not spring-loaded. There's nothing here that is going to be really fantastic, but when it came out, everything on it was great. And I still love it. I recommend that people buy it if they're just getting into Leatherman tools, because you can do the replacement bits on it. You got your little can opener, wire cutter, wire stripper. You have everything that you want on it. Everything on it locks, and it makes it so easy to get work done. It's a relatively light piece. I think it's a little bit less than 9 ounces with this clip that I purchased for it. I just always recommend that you have a clip or a pouch that you're going to carry this in. Otherwise, they'll be these and they just tend to want to take them, I guess, or eat out too. This is still, I think, I would say that the Wave was still the best value for most people in the Leatherman line. I know that people talk about the Wingman and the Sidekick and are best low price ones, but I think with they work, they do give you your basic pieces, and they are relatively inexpensive. But like once you get down to those in the $60 or $70 range, I tell people, and this is sacrilege, I know, just go get a clone, a rock tool, a Roxxon, a Next tool, Decayu. Those clones at the $40 and $50 level are just better than most of the ones like those the Sidekick and the Wingman have a long key, but I just think that that's where we're losing people. They need to have something in that price range, in the $50 to $80 price range, where people would want to buy it over a $40 clone. I still, my favorite one, when I'm looking to grab something really quickly, this is the one that I grab. Uh, it's actually good to grab a hold of when I need it. It is in a tool pouch that I have when I go to someone's home to do tool work with. This is the Leatherman Wave. This is my #1 and favorite tool. So now that we're here at the end, tell me what your #1 and favorite tool is of Leatherman's. Or what are your top 2? What are the ones that you use the most? I know a lot of people who are relatively new and jumped really up to like the Arc really enjoy that. I can understand why. Sorry for all the noise in the background. I'm outside and traffic was a little bit more busier than what I thought. This is Aku EDC. We're back inside again. I came inside because it was raining and thunderstorming. I don't know if you can hear that in the background or not. So you have it. My top 5 favorite Leatherman tools, ranked after years of real world use of Leatherman tools. I've had at least one Leatherman tool for at least 30 years. We showed you the high-tech Arc and showed you the Style PS, which is no longer available. That right there in and of itself is probably a 15-year span of tools that I was able to show you. Tools that I like, the tools that I use are ever changing, but they are the tools that are best for me. Obviously, my favorite one, my go-to one, is still the Wave Plus. That's the favorite one for a lot of people, for a lot of reasons. It's versatile, reliable, and balanced multi-tool. I just saw, I think it was Dominic at Max Level EDC, and I'll link that in the description, where he showed, but basically, the Wave Plus is not the best value tool anymore. That's because no sheaths, no extra bits. That is a no-brainer why Leatherman has stopped doing that. I don't understand that. But I understand that a lot of people don't use sheaths, and so that probably makes sense. Ultimately, the best multi-tool is always the one that fits your needs. If you're a frequent flyer, the Style PS is a phenomenal choice. If you need basics inside your pocket, skeletal tool is still unbeatable. There are some tools that are coming close to it, but I still think that that's a really nice tool to have inside your pocket. One last tip, remember that Leatherman's policies have changed, as I stated. Many of those, including some of the ones that I show you, no longer come with a sheath or no longer come with bits or both. When buying, double check everything that you need when you're there. That double checking is really important these days. Don't forget, one of the best things about buying a Leatherman is its warranty. Leatherman does have a great warranty and they do back it up. Sometimes they're a little slow, but they do back up their warranty. But now you heard my list. What's your list? I know you have your own favorites, and I want to hear from you about what those are. What's your #1 Leatherman, and what's the one that you carry the most? What is one that you sort of carry occasionally, but use it a lot when you have it? Please put those down in the comments below. I read all the comments and are genuinely interested in what you're carrying. Let's say that you don't carry a Leatherman, but some other tool now. Put the tool that you're carrying and why you're carrying that instead of the Leatherman. Even if it's price, performance, or just looks, let us know why. If this video helped you make any huge Leatherman questions were answered for you line up, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm a small channel. I'm trying to grow it. Everything that you saw was purchased by me. Nothing was given to me by Leatherman or any other company. What I'm talking to you about is my real world use. I have links to all the tools that I talked about today in the description below. If you're interested in any of them, I'll have a link to Amazon or I'll have a link to Leatherman. The Amazon links are affiliate links. The Leatherman links are not. If you want to see more about multi-tools, please click up here. If you want the algorithm to give you something that may interest you, click right over here at the one here. Thanks for watching. Stay prepared, and I'll see you in the future. This is Haku, EDC.